Mm, hello. Yep.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Ramadan Radio Wolverhampton. Sorry, my name is Ijaz and I'm here with the legal clinic. I'm a bit late to the show today. We were having some technical difficulties. Um, so today I will be. I just realized I've not updated the titles. Today we will be talking about wills, trust, and powers of attorney. So let's get things started. I have with me my good friend Mr. Zahid Shah. Assalamu alaikum, Zahid.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you?
I'm okay, fine, thank you. Pleasure to be at your show again.
It's a pleasure
You
to
you never
ple-
turned up to mine.
pleasure to have you. Some of us have got more time on our hands than others.
You are right.
Also, I have my eldest son, Sahil. Sahil has been on this show in previous years, and he's been on one or two other shows. He was much smaller and younger then. Now he's clearly grown. He's as tall as me now. Sahil, assalamu alaikum. You okay?
Walaikum salam. Yeah, I'm fine, thanks.
You'll have to get a bit closer to the mic. Yeah. So, are you excited to be on Ramadan Radio again?
Yeah, I'm quite excited.
You're quite excited.
Yeah.
Okay. So, are you excited about the topic about wills? What your parents will leave you?
I mean, it's the most exciting out of the ones that you've done so far.
Really?
Yeah, because it's the most relevant towards me.
Well, get a bit closer to the mic because you're not speaking too loudly. So
Because it's the most relevant towards me.
it's the most relevant towards you.
Jim.
Well, no, you're not joking. We understand. We understand. So yeah. So Zaid, I think you suggested that I should talk about wills and stuff as well in previous shows. That it was something that our community need to learn more about
Yeah.
and need to have more information on.
Mm,
Um, I know a lot of people are in the community are passing away without wills.
yeah.
But and also I think you'll probably be more aware of this than me. It is part of our religion, part of Islam,
Definitely.
that one should leave a will. Is that am I right? Or am I wrong in saying that?
You're absolutely right. According to my fiqh, the Prophet peace be upon him and the Imams have said that you have to write a will, and preferably.
One should always leave a will.
Yeah, leave a will because of uh, there's a lot of factors, but I will share
Hmm.
my own experiences as well, if I'm allowed to.
Of course, you're allowed to. We can't be too specific, I suppose. We can't be too specific in naming names, etc. But if you have any experiences, and if you end of the day, we're here to guide people. We're
Yeah,
here to guide the listeners, the viewers. We've been, and so if from our experiences, if they can take something away, learn something, then we've done our job.
well, the thing is if it's okay with yourself, I'm not going to go into specifics.
Yeah.
But what I will say to you about wills is that if you're out there and your parents are elderly, especially,
Hmm.
sit down with them as a family and sort it out, because my father passed away last March. I don't want to go into the specifics,
Yeah.
but people out there who are listening will probably understand. There's something behind this. But my father passed away, and I sort of was quite, when people were talking about the wills,
Hmm.
I didn't really care because I was
Well, no,
thinking,
that wouldn't be the focus, would it? If when an elderly person is ill,
yeah,
and especially a parent,
yeah,
your main concern is is to do what you can
Yeah,
to try and get them onto the road to recovery.
absolutely.
Death is the last thing on our minds.
Yeah, I mean,
And what will happen to assets after death is also, we don't think to at the time. At that time, an honourable child would not be thinking, oh, what am I going to gain from this?
absolutely, absolutely. And
Um, I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
no, I mean, I think what it is honourable. Only Allah knows best. But with myself, I had no intentions of uh, anything. I was thinking my father and my mother. They'll be everything will be done according to their kind of plan. But unfortunately, what happens is that there are siblings who are a bit more sort of what's the word I'm trying to use? There's siblings who
Well,
are
no, look, not in I wouldn't say in every family, but there's people in the world who to whom money means more than anything else.
absolutely and assets. Yeah,
And I'm not saying that about your family. So and that's another reason why these things are important. I mean, Sahil, I know you're only 13, but do you know what a will is?
I
You'll have to get a bit closer.
yeah,
Yeah.
a will is a legal document
Yes.
that outlines how a person's assets and possessions are given after their death. So, say for example, I'm just giving an example.
Yes.
Say if you were to pass away,
Thank you.
your will, what it would outline is who would get what amount of your assets
Okay.
after you pass away.
Uh-huh.
And um, obviously, if you didn't have a will, then
Mhm.
it would be quite ambiguous, and you wouldn't know what to do in that
No,
situation.
you would go by the law of the land, and the law of the land would a depending on the size of the estate, depending on the size of the estate, you could end up paying a lot of tax. Also, there would be, you know, would it go to all the well, first of all, if I were to pass away, you're saying it would automatically then it would go to your mother, not you guys, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in Islam, I think Zaid will back me up here, it's different, isn't it?
yeah.
So in Islam, it wouldn't automatically just go to the wife, would it?
No, it wouldn't. That'd be. I think what it is the wife has a certain amount.
Yes.
Yeah, but then Islamically, it's the son, the
Hmm.
son or the sons have two portions, and the daughters have one. So could I just clarify that?
Yeah.
So if there was two sons, and there was two daughters,
Hmm.
there'd be six. There'd be six portions to that will, and the boys would get four, and
Hmm.
the girls would get two.
Okay. Yes.
And I think mom gets about a quarter
Hmm.
or something along those lines. But when it comes to siblings, the boys get two, and the daughter gets one.
Yeah. I think Sahil's a mathematician here. I'm sure he'll be able to do the sums.
I'm a maths teacher as well.
Oh. Well,
Thanks.
between you two, in that case, and if you get stuck, let me know.
Thanks, Ijaz, for
No worries.
the vote of confidence.
Oh, you know me, always, always there to support in one way or another.
Um,
So,
I mean, I've got a question for you.
okay,
So, can you explain the different types of power of attorney available
well, we're,
under?
we're not done with wills yet.
Well, I was just thinking that wills don't doesn't the power of attorney come into this?
So, no, I'll explain what a power of attorney is
Okay.
in the first instance. So, see, in fact, I was with a client this morning, and I was getting the power of attorney signed up. It's an elderly lady up in Tetnall. And I was explaining to her and her son. Her son is in his late 50s. I think it's 9, 10 years, say mid to late 50s, about your age, right?
Yeah.
So I was explaining to them that a power of attorney, in my opinion, is probably worth getting more so than a will. Because with a power of attorney, and that's me already saying that the will is important, right? So with the power of attorney, that is there to. Well, there's two types of power of attorneys. One is for health and welfare, and
Yeah.
one is for your property and finance,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So, for instance, if something were to happen, I'll take myself as an example because I'm sure Sahil will, right?
Yeah.
So if something will happen,
Okay.
we go out there, we have an accident, right? Something happens to me, I'm vegetated or something along those lines, and I can't go out and do my banking, go and do anything,
Yeah. Yeah.
pay the bills.
Mm.
So what would happen? My wife would then have to try and do go sort my bank stuff out, sort this out, that out. But
Mm.
when she turns up to the bank, and they would turn around and say, "Well, who are you?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
authority do you have
Okay.
to
Okay.
do this?"
Okay.
Also, in hospitals, if you have the power of attorney for medical health and welfare, you have a say in any hospital treatment. For instance, this the son and mother this morning, they told me that the mother went into hospital. They asked the son, "Do you have a power of attorney?" He said no. They left it as that. Then when he saw the paperwork later, on there, it said, "Do not resuscitate." Right? So means they'd already decided that if something happens to her,
Yeah. Yeah.
she's that old. Well, what's the point in wasting money and time in trying to resuscitate? Now, had he had a power of attorney, that would have been his decision, not the doctor's decision. Therefore, I feel, for all the reasons listed above,
Yeah.
a power of attorney, get in powers of attorney in your lifetime to decide what happens to you if you end up in hospital, what happens to your assets if you're in a state where you can't handle your own finances and property, what happens to that? I think it's important to have a powers of attorney in place. Now, it's not a very complicated thing to do. People can do it. The powers of attorney can be done. You can do it yourself, right? You can use solicitors. Us solicitors, we know for both of them would charge you about £500 for both, there or thereabouts. Others, some would charge you maybe a bit less. Some would charge you, maybe double that. But on average, you're looking at about £500. Plus, each one of them cost you about £82, I think it is, 82 or £84 to register. So, so yeah, if you're doing it yourself, 170 odd pounds and you're done. At least your peace of mind that if something happens to you in your lifetime, it's not all about death, is it? You could end up in bed with uh, some disease or dementia. I know maybe touching on a sore subject, but your father went through dementia, before passing
Absolutely.
away. Allah
Absolutely. Yeah.
But so you know, had he had a power of attorney beforehand, people could have made certain decisions for them, which would be for their benefit. It had what one must highlight. What I must highlight is that whatever you do, you have to do it for the best interest of that person. So you have to choose your attorneys wisely. You can have one attorney or more, or one attorney and a replacement. And the other point with powers of attorney is um, you don't have to, when you take the power of attorney out, you don't actually have to give them the power immediately. You could actually highlight in your form as to what you want as a trigger. So when you have that trigger, that's when the person, the attorney, comes into play. Up until then, you could turn around and say, well, if I undergo surgery and I'm not well after that, that's the trigger, right? So it doesn't have to be instantly, but at least have it there. Have it there in the background. Right, guys. So, as we started a bit late, the first session is coming to a close. We're coming to the ad break.
How long we go?
20 seconds. So if anyone wants to call in and ask any questions, please feel free to do so on 01902, after the break, please, 01902 970 150. Or if you have any questions, you can also message us on WhatsApp 07440 420 432. See you after the break. Allah Hafiz.
Eurofit Auto Centres, the leading MOT and service centres in West Midlands, are recruiting technicians, MOT testers and managers. There's a starting salary of £30,000 based on experience, and a minimum 5 years experience is necessary. For details, call Rashad at Eurofit Auto Centres on 01902 404045. That's Eurofit Auto Centres on 01902 404045.
Northern Gas Heating, celebrating 24 years of reliable heating and renewable energy solutions for your home. We have unbeatable offers on gas boilers, fully installed by our professional engineers. If your business or home is paying high electricity prices, call for a free Northern Gas Heating quote for cost-effective solar. Visit northerngasheating.com or call 0800 083 1000.
Ramadan Kareem from Premier Tyres, suppliers of safe driving, as they're the only link between your vehicle and the road. And as well as leading tyre brands, Premier's your reliable go-to garage for servicing, spares, repairs and MOTs. Now available, Wolverhampton Taxi plated cars for hire. Now Uber and Bolt ready, so you can run your business in confidence. For details, visit Premier Tyres, Crown Street, WV1 1PX. Call 01902 455 684 or visit premiertyreservices.com.
Experience the AK Windows difference. Visit our HQ at Economic House, Salisbury Street, Wolverhampton, WV3 OBG. Discover quality UPVC and aluminium windows, doors, roof lanterns, bifolding doors and composite doors in various styles. Offering glass and UPVC repairs too. With over 30 years of experience, AK Windows is your trusted choice for both trade and retail. For free quotations, call 01902 421 500 or visit akwindows.co.uk. Elevate your living with AK Windows. Precision, quality, satisfaction.
Midland Plastics and Plumbing Limited, your one-stop shop for home and bathrooms. A wide range of plumbing products and quality bathroom supplies in Wolverhampton. We supply underground drainage, guttering, roofing products, UPVC cladding and much more to the trade and public. This Ramadan, we're offering 40% off all bathroom suites. Visit us online at midlandplasticsltd.co.uk or call us today on 01902 399 611. Or why not visit in-store at Moore Street South, Wolverhampton, WV2 3JN.
Mubi Bass Electronics, specialist in car audio and home entertainment. Suppliers of leading brands, Samsung, Sony, and Panasonic. We supply and fit all car audio systems, top brands, Kenwood, Bose, and we're an authorized supplier of Vibe product. Visit our store online at mubibass.co.uk and order today for next day delivery. Mubi Bass Electronics are proud sponsors of Wolverhampton Wanderers FC. Call us today for a free quote on 01902 754 546 and quote Ramadan 20 for 10% off. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Mubi Bass Electronics, specialist in car audio and home entertainment.
Khan Builders offer a full range of building services, from major rebuilds to small projects, home improvements, kitchen fitting, plastering, bathroom fitting, extensions, and much more. We pride ourselves on providing a professional, caring, and high-quality service and always meet our customers' needs. Contact Khan Builders today on 07813 950 265 for a free quotation from Khan Builders. We've all spent a lot of time at home lately, and it's time to notice those carpets really need replacing. Let's be honest, we don't want to go from shop to shop, do we? Well, Perfect Carpets can save you the time and bring perfection to your floor. Over 1,000 high-quality styles and colours. Carpets start from only £3 per square yard. Rugs from £30. There's free measurements and free quotation with exclusive trade discounts to landlords and builders. You can't get any more perfect. Make your home with Perfect Carpets, the Black Country's biggest carpet store. Call us today on 01902 428 833 or visit us at 21 to 25 Snow Hill, Wolverhampton, WV2 4AD, and quote Ramadan Radio for 5% off your next order.
Quick Build Construction Limited offer a full range of building services, from major rebuilds to small projects, home improvements, kitchen fitting, plastering, bathroom fitting, extensions and much more. We pride ourselves on providing a professional, caring and high-quality service, and always meet our contact Quick Build Construction today on 07813 950 265 for a free quotation from Quick Build Construction.
Do you have a family member that's passed away and you would like someone to assist you in legal advice? Kenneth Jones Solicitors has been providing legal services for businesses and individuals since 1986. We specialise in probate, Islamic wills and family law. We also offer services in conveyancing, immigration and personal injury. Contact us today on 01902 745 773 or visit us on our website at kenneth-jones.co.uk.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back after the ad break. My name's Ijaz Ali and I'm here presenting the legal clinic on Ramadan Radio Wolverhampton. I've been doing this for about 5 years now, and yet still I have to look at the board to see whether it's Radio Ramadan or Ramadan Radio. I'm here with my good friend Zahid Shah and also my eldest son Sahil Ali. We have been discussing certain aspects of wills, certain aspects of powers of attorney. So wills and power of attorney has been what the topic has been about so far. I think as I went into the break, Sahil hadn't said very much beforehand, but he's got 1,000,001 questions to ask. So I said, well, don't ask me now. Ask me when we're alive, so that at least, maybe I've not explained things thoroughly, and maybe we can inform the listeners and the viewers on, in a bit more detail as to what I was saying. So Sahil, what is it that you're referring to powers of attorney? Yes, because you've now decided that you know enough about wills to establish what you're getting, etc. Yes. Maybe. Okay.
No, I had a question on. You mentioned having. You could have multiple powers of attorney. So my
multiple attorneys.
Yes. From that one power of attorney.
Right. Yes. So, what's the question on that? Sorry.
So can you allocate people to different categories, such as financial categories and health and well-being?
Yes. Good question, actually. So, what you can do, because as I mentioned, there's two types of attorneys, right? Two powers of attorney. So, one is health and welfare, and one is finance and property.
Okay.
And when you complete these forms for these to allocate people as your attorney, you can choose a different attorney. I think this is the point you're trying to make, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I said that you can have multiple attorneys, have 1, 2, 3 attorneys, or you can have an attorney or a couple of attorneys and then replacement attorney. So if they decide we don't want to be the attorney anymore, you've got the replacements in hand to hand it down to. The other way is, say for instance, if you can't be an attorney because you're still a minor, but say you and your one of your brothers were adults now, and I wanted to give my attorney, make attorneys for my health, so I could choose, say, okay, I could say, okay, I have to choose an attorney for my health and welfare, and I have to choose an attorney for my property and finance. So one of you might be quite money savvy,
Yeah.
right? And therefore, I may choose that person as my attorney for the property and finance because I know that my money will be safe. And that person will be the best person to look after it. The other one might be quite empathetic. So I may choose that person. For instance, I could choose Zaki saying, okay, he's the right one to look after me, and you're the right one to look after the money. Yeah? Just the way you like it, Rahil. Just the way you like it. So you could do that. You could choose, a different attorney for your finance and a different attorney for your health.
Yeah.
Yeah? I think that was that. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you had other questions as well?
That's all for now.
That's all for now. What you should have done, Sahil, is written them down. You did ask me something else, but I don't actually recall what it was. Does that make sense to you, Mr. Shah?
Yeah, yes, it does.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we've covered everything on powers of attorneys thoroughly enough to warrant you going and start filling in a form?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't use a lawyer because it's too expensive.
Thank you. Well, we're here to provide a service, and we're here to get it right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I suppose,
so if you're doing it yourself, I'm not saying that it can't be done.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is you can do it yourself, but end of the day, we charge for our time.
Yep.
And we charge for our experience. So we're to it, and your family's left to it, and they suffer. B, there's something called, so instead of power of attorney, it's called a deputyship. And I totally forgot to mention the deputyship. And well done for raising the question, Sahil. So what a deputyship is if you then lose capacity, and your family feel that they need the powers to look after your finances, look after your property, and look after you, they can then apply in a similar fashion to a power of attorney, bit more, few more hurdles to jump through because you need doctor certificates and etc., and takes a bit longer. But a deputyship can be applied for. So again, there's two types of deputyships: one for health and welfare, and one for property and finance. The property and finance one, in my experience, property and finance one is fairly straightforward to obtain. Still, as it harder than a power of attorney. So I would always recommend trying to get the power of attorney and not wait for a deputyship.
Is it because of you have to prove that they're not in the right mental state?
Yes,
and
yeah. So there's a few things to prove. Yeah.
Are you sure this guy isn't a lawyer?
Well, he's quite switched on. Alhamdulillah, he's a bright boy. And don't let that get to your head, Sahil. So yeah, there has to be an assessment of mental capacity, and then, but property and finance, and then it has to be signed off by the courts. So the courts are more likely to sign off property and finance than they are health and welfare, because when it gets to that stage, they feel, now this is my opinion, they feel that the property, yeah, fine, the family should look after it, but the health, how are you in a better position once that person is in that state? How are you in a better position to make a decision on their health than the medical practitioners?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
but you've also got to remember that what I'm just thinking now is that wouldn't the family be more looking for the best wishes of the patient rather than, because they're emotionally linked to the patient.
They are emotionally linked to the patient, yes.
So wouldn't they be more wouldn't they look out for the patient a lot more than?
So their objective would be to try and get the patient recovery and back, whereas the hospital
they would do when they do like a cost benefit analysis on it and see.
Well, I'm not one to say that. I can't say that they will do a cost benefit analysis. I've not been in that position to assess that either. Have you ever been in that position, Mr. Shah?
Nope.
No? So you don't know whether they would do a cost benefit, the hospitals will do a cost benefit analysis before turning the machines off. I can imagine it being done.
I think what it is we had experience with my one of my
relatives.
Not one of the babies. She passed away
Oh.
in the hospital. She was a few months old, and they kept on moaning about how much it was costing the hospital to keep the ventilator going.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, if that was now, I think you'd have a legal case on your hands there, Mr. Ali. Yeah, but
that's shocking.
Yeah, it was shocking, and what happened was eventually the pressures and what was happening to the young baby made us actually kind of turn the machines off because she was suffering so much. But they were basically always on the case saying, oh, it's ventilators and this and that cost a lot of money, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they do, I don't know if they do things like that now, but if you got the rumours are that in NHS hospitals now, if somebody's above the age of 70, that they're not bothered.
Maybe.
This is what I've been told.
I can't comment on such, but you hear stories, don't you? You hear stories.
I was just gonna. It's fine now.
No? Okay. So I've had a message in from someone. The message reads, the will, is it best individual or as a trust inheritance? Okay. I'll need a bit more detail on that, to be honest, to give you a proper answer. Now, they say one man's... What's that saying? One man's gold is another man's dust, or
one man's rubbish is another man's treasure.
Treasure. One man's rubbish is another man's treasure. Yeah, that could be. So, I can't say if, depending on your own circumstances, you've said, is the will, is it best individual or as a trust inheritance? Now, trusts are set up for various reasons. It would depend. See, you can even have a will trust, you see. So depending on your value of your estate, depending on what you want to do with that estate, it's best to speak to a lawyer who specializes in such, and then go through, for instance, if someone was to come to me, I would pass them a will questionnaire, which we have in our office, and I'll say, well, fill this in. Once they fill that in, I have a true understanding of what assets they own. I also have a true understanding of what relatives they have, who they want to leave what to, the value of all that estate, and then I'm in a position to actually advise that person to say, okay, tax-wise, maybe you should be looking into such and such trust. Obviously, there's more than one type of trust. So, again, I cannot comment on, it's a good question, but individual scenarios warrant different answers in this regard. So without having more details as to your assets, and I'm not asking you to type all your assets on a text message to me, but without having proper detailed conversation with you and proper detailed documented list of assets and what your end goal is, I don't think we can really say much more on that. But thank you for your message, and I do hope other people are listening, and other people also send across any queries that they may have on wills, trusts, powers of attorney, or anything in that regard. and even if it's anything in relation to anything else I've covered in previous shows, I'm happy, more than happy to try and assist. In that On that note, I will actually mention the number again, which you can call, which is 01902 972 150, and the WhatsApp number is 07440 420 432. Now, as it's getting closer to iftari time, I'm getting a bit more. I think the mouth is drying up a little. You looking forward to iftari today, Sahil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
You'll be working hard though.
Mm.
Maybe you should do a shout out and ask anyone who's listening to come to your iftari tonight.
It's not mine.
It is. If it's from me, it's from you, isn't it? You are my son. You it's part of your inheritance I'm using up here. Don't you agree, Mr. Shah?
Yep. I'm looking forward to the spread that you're going to provide today.
Well, if anyone wants to, it's an open invitation to anyone who's listening that we are holding an iftari tonight at Bilal Masjid. And anyone who is listening is more than welcome to attend. And, we'll try and please you in every way that we can as far as your food is concerned. I think, Sahil, you're looking forward to the Gajrela, are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bit of a sweet tooth there. Right. Moving on. I think I was about to move on to a trust anyway. So, what is a trust? Do any of you know what a trust is?
A trust, as far as I was concerned, is something where somebody leaves some kind of an asset or finances for somebody until they're a certain age, and then, like, say if I was leaving something for my youngest son, Zach, who's 19, 20 years old, and in that trust I say that when he's 25, he can actually, take the money or the assets from that trust to utilize for his benefits. Yeah.
Yeah. You are right in what you say. So a trust is a legal arrangement where assets are held by the trustees. So you would be setting out who the trustees will be. So trustees in people, as the name says, people you trust to handle that for you. So it's an arrangement where the assets are held by the trustees for the benefit of specified beneficiaries. So the beneficiary not necessarily doesn't have to be underage children, doesn't have to be children at all. Could be anyone could be a beneficiary. But I think one may ask, well, what's the point? What's the advantages of setting up a trust? Now, we hear loads about trust, don't we? People say, "Oh yeah, got a bit of money, we better set up a trust." So, what is the advantage? Do you know any advantages of setting up a trust, Sahil?
Is that what a trust fund is? That funding that goes towards a trust.
Yeah.
I've heard people might set up like a trust fund, but I have next to zero knowledge when it comes to trust.
Well, you wouldn't be the only one. I don't think many people out there are aware of trusts, or if they are aware of them, they don't know what exactly trust entails, what type of trust they are, what does a trust do. So, in the main, trusts are there to protect your assets, to help with estate planning, and give you some privacy. So you would say, well, what do you mean, Dad? What do you mean by protect your assets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, if, for instance, I have a trust in place, and then I'm going through divorce. It could help protect the assets in that divorce. It could protect from creditors. So, for instance, if I'm about to be made bankrupt, or if I have issues, financial issues, but I've also, I have a property, but that's in a trust. Therefore, those people cannot touch it, right?
So, who exactly has the? I'm sorry, I'm just getting a bit confused. Who exactly receives the trust?
So the trust is. So I could say, for instance, one of my houses, yeah. So if I put it in trust for you,
Yeah.
although it's on my name,
Yeah.
I'm the trustee. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You're the beneficiary.
So
you're the one who takes benefit of the trust.
So the trust give. I get that
Yeah.
house.
Yeah, so it'll be yours, but it's in my name still.
Then would I?
Yeah,
have
so that'd be an advantage to you, and I would be protecting it from my creditors, etc. Now, the other, we've only got a little bit of time left, so I'll explain a little bit more on estate planning. So trust can be used as part of estate planning strategies. That's what a lot of people tend to use them for, to minimize inheritance tax liabilities. So, certain trusts can be used to assist in reducing your tax liabilities. And therefore, leaving it for the future generations. So it can be used to, say, for instance, if we have someone in our family who's vulnerable, and I want to make sure that they're catered for, a trust would be a good way to set up a trust for their benefit. Yeah, so that's a good way. Even minors, even new kids as well. So, and I mentioned privacy earlier. So, unlike wills, a will becomes public document. Yeah. So once it's goes through probate, it becomes a public document. Trusts offer a greater degree of privacy, in that they don't generally require probate and not publicly disclosed. So that's also an advantage. Anyhow, not long left now. So guys, I'm going to bring this to a close. Thank you both for coming. I hope you've learned something, both of you, as it's not just listening to my my waffle, as Sahil puts it. But guys, next week we'll be back. I'll try and make next week a business show. I'm going to try and get a business coach on board, and maybe an accountant as well. So try and make it a business show. But let's see how we go. Inshallah, as I said, if you guys are listening out there, please feel free to come to Bilal Masjid for Iftari tonight, and inshallah see you there. If not, we'll see you next week. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you, Ajaz.
Allah Hafiz.
Eurofit Auto Centres, the leading MOT and service centres in West Midlands, are recruiting technicians, MOT testers,